How's everyone doing? First of all, I apologise for the lack of uploads. Look, uni work, mad. It's just too busy, honestly. It's frustrating, it's annoying. I want to keep doing this, I want to keep churning it out and do what I usually did, but it's gonna be difficult for the time being. But once I get scheduled properly, once I understand every day at uni when the training is and all that, we'll figure it out. Player ratings will be coming back. What I'm gonna do after the next game against Bristol for the international break, I'm going to do a monthly rating, or maybe so far in the season, how I think each player's performed so far in the season, like a first 10 game rating, for example. I think that's a good marker. So yeah, this one's just a quick reaction to the game. I was busy last night, so I couldn't watch it. It's the first Leeds game I've missed live in 3 years, as in gone to the ground or on TV, or on the radio. So I missed it. I was good, but I was sat there refreshing Twitter literally every 5 seconds. Um, yeah, I've rewatched it back this morning on LUTV. And now, obviously, I'm going. This is what I was going into that. My mindset was, well, I'm going by like what the likes of Phil Hay tweeted and people I know what said about the game. And I was expecting kind of what I saw. I think first half, and I have to say this: when you're playing a team, a side that, and it's so difficult when you're playing a team that respectfully just doesn't challenge you. It's very cliche to say this, but don't step down to their level. You hear it everywhere in football, and because that's a real thing. When a team's not giving you the challenge that you think they should, given you're playing in the same league as them, you kind of have that mentality of we don't need to do a lot to win this. So naturally, your performance levels not go down, but the intensity of the game or the purpose of the movement, or example, or the moving you do is reduced because of that. And I think that was the case yesterday. Because in the first half, we were utterly dominant, but there was definitely an air of, there was no rush in the game from either side, to be honest. I think as well, given we have 3 games in a week, whether it's subconsciously or you naturally, you will have to protect yourself slightly, by not running just as much in making the game so intense, because it can't be, because you'll just be injured and they'll have big problems. So that definitely, you could definitely tell it was a midweek game in a 3-game week. And I think they didn't cause a threat. And the way we played was so just basic, simple movement, but actually quite effective in times. And we really dominated that first half through that. And we knew when we were playing that realistically these guys, and they're not causing any threat to us. And I think a bit of complacency crept in. Having said that, I think as a team, another clean sheet in a game. It's 5 in 12 games this season, I think. Competitions, I think it's 12, or I don't know. 5 clean sheets is phenomenal. I think that's best in the Championship, and that's going under the radar, I think, from a lot of people. Because of that three goals we conceded in one game. But we've had apart from that, the clean sheets have been coming in, and realistically, teams are not creating big chances against us. QPR didn't really. Let's be honest. So quiet for Elon Meslier, who's been battered for the last 2 years by just chance after chance. He's not got a lot to do this year. He really hasn't, really, and that's good from a defensive structure. The defence yesterday just looked really solid to me, and I seen Luke Ayling getting criticism. And look, it's clear, obviously, that in terms of the performance level of the players we have in the side, Luke Ayling, you can tell, he's definitely not the player he used to be. Obviously, you're not going to be, he's 4 or 5 years younger than 4 years younger than when we came up last time, and that training and that workload's definitely paying off on his body. But I actually think defensively yesterday was better. He's got a tough task, especially when they moved Share out there. And once or twice Share might have got round him, but the recovery from Luke Ayling was good. He didn't actually beat him. So I think 1v1 defending was very good. Just sometimes on the ball yesterday, he was a bit slack with the passing. But from the back as well, I thought Sam Byron was excellent. And the central defence partnership is Rodon and Strauch is just unbelievable at this point, to be honest. And still, from their perspective, I don't even think they were really that tested until the second, when they just shot long balls into them time and time again. And for the most part, it's dealt with. The midfield, well, the midfield is midfield, isn't it? Ampadu just did his usual standard Ampadu stuff, which was just control the game with the ball, simple passes, cutting passes at times, always there defensively. Has 1 or 2 passes in a game that kind of he loses out on, and then they start a counter. But that's part of the role, when you make these risky passes. Arch Gray came in and did a great job. Doesn't stand out in every game, which is good for a guy of age, just slowly going his own business and then performing at a very high level every week for a young man. Not necessarily the first name on the papers, but you don't want that. Just want him to keep doing his job and keep improving as a player, and it's really good to see. And then the front four, and we'll talk about Joe Piroe in a second. I want to talk about Jorginho Rutter again because I just thought, I'm like every time this guy plays well, I'm just so happy because there's that player there, and he's just clearly enjoying the environment. He's enjoying Leeds United right now. He's enjoying where he's at, and it's just so good to see. I think the way in which he picks spaces up and finds gaps within the pitch and just runs at players and creates space between defenders, and then they can't cope in 1v1. He's brilliant. His passing ability is underrated. We're all talking about his dribbling and all that, but his passing ability, the way to pass, the intensity of the pass at times is just fantastic. I'm really happy for him, and he's doing it consistently now. He really is. He's becoming a really important outlet for this team, and I'm really happy for him. I thought Cree again, times in the game where Cree's unplayable, and you can just see at times he's too good for this level. The defenders realistically can't touch him. He runs past them like they're nothing. And he got really involved in the game. He's taking a bit more time to find that kind of consistent end product. But what he did do yesterday was score. And delighted for Cree because I think he needed that. That'll do him well because he's been very consistent this season in terms of dribbling past people and being a menace against any defence he comes up against. It's just been that kind of end product side of him which I've needed to see, and he took his finish well yesterday and very confident in front of goal, and he's just going to keep getting better. He really is. Still a young man. I love his playing style. I love the way he is. He's raw. His times loses the ball and he puts his head down. You work that out of him when they get older. You can't give up. You got to keep going. And once we have that complete player that the Championship, as already is, needs to be ready because Chris is a very, very talented young man. Anthony, I was impressed with Anthony. He grew into the game. I think it's a slow start. Not slow, but received the ball a lot deeper than maybe he could have because of obviously positional play and where he wanted to just get on the ball, get a few early touches, play some simple passes. Just slowly build yourself into the game as your first start. And he did it well and became a menace. You've said that word, but he did. And if that front four can kind of just connect more consistently and understand each other more. We're getting goals. Piroe, there's a lot talking about Joe Piroe. And again, this conversation is coming up about why is he playing in the 10? He should be a 9. Jorginho should be, people saying if Jorginho can do what he does in the 9, imagine what he could do in a 10. So that's completely different because it's the role of the player. People are looking at traditional positions. The traditional position of a number 9 is to stay on the last man, win the ball high up, right? That's stay on the last man, get in behind or hold it up. That's traditional number 9. Stay in the box. Our number 9 doesn't do that. Our system is fluid, so that doesn't make sense. There's always movement. And often, a lot of the time, Jorginho Rutter is deeper than Joe Piroe. When he's not deeper than Joe Piroe, it's because he's on the last man stretching it, or he's wide stretching the player because Joe Piroe can't do that. He can't do that. The idea is when you have a player who's a good player in Joe Piroe who scores goals in this league but isn't ideal for the system or will take longer to adapt to this system or for the system to adapt around him, you have to find that role. And yet he's not found that consistent role where he's more effective in games. However, for Jorginho Rutter and where he's playing, that role he has as the 9, which is more of a false 9, to be honest. He dropped very deep. He just picks the ball up in areas. It's a very free role. That role is working extremely well. By changing that entire role, you can massively affect the player's performance. Keep Jorginho Rutter where he is because he's doing very well there. The idea is to try and find a way in which Joe Piroe fits the role, not the position, the role of the 10. Because the role of the 10 in this system, depending on if we're on the ball or off the ball, or where the ball is on the pitch, is completely different. There's a lot of times Joe Piroe plays alongside Jorginho Rutter on the last man. There's times where Rutter dropped much deeper. Piroe has a lot of pockets he works in, but Jorginho Rutter has different pockets because he's quicker. He's more versatile. He can pick the ball up in any area of the pitch and drive forward with it, pass forward with it. Joe Piroe is a guy that will find an area in a pitch. Quick 1-2. He's not going to turn, take 3 men on and drive us up. That's why the role of Jorginho Rutter is vital in this side and trying to find the role in which our number 10 adapts to his attributes or the system. That is what we need to do. We don't need to change them. It's adapting it. People are too obsessed with the word number 9 or the word number 10. It's the role of that position in this system. That's what we need to figure out, all right? Number 9 doesn't just sit on the last man anymore. And number 10 doesn't just sit in the hole anymore. It's completely different. Completely different. Yeah. And that's it. What else? Like, second half, look. Again, it was that mentality thing, I think, for me. It was more... We was kind of comfortable and got a little too comfortable in thinking, this is a 1-0. We don't need to go up 2 more gears because we have enough in gear 3, right? That was the thinking, I think. And we struggled to kind of go up to gear 4 when QPR went up a little gear. But let's be honest, QPR was still not good. I don't think they caused really any problems other than booting the ball into the air to challenge up, which any team in the world can do, right? So we took them to that, and that's what they relied on. So I'm not bothered. I'm really not. Look, sometimes you need these lackadaisical, kind of lethargic 1-0 wins where it's just a simple, decent team performance where you weren't spectacular but weren't bad and you were just solid. You need them. It's a championship. We had so many in the Bielsa. People think every game was fun. There were some grinds in there. There were, because this is a championship and teams set up specifically to stop you doing what you are good at. That's what you need, different adaptations, right? We've seen Leicester do it this year, especially at the start of the season. They didn't play well. They didn't create loads of chances, but they won games, similar to what we did, with a better side without being brilliant, but so comfortable. So, yeah. And I have to shout out Patrick Bamford. I thought when he came on, I thought it was good. I thought, on the ball, he looked more assured and sharp. I don't know what it was. He looked fitter than when he used to come on last season, and he didn't look right. When he was running and stuff, and he just didn't feel right, but he did feel fitter. Yeah, we could talk about the red card. I don't care. I'll be honest. I'm in the football game, people. I don't care. Look, he apologised. It'll be rescinded. He missed 3 minutes of the game. People, they wouldn't have won it. They wouldn't have done anything different. Who cares? It'll be rescinded. Whatever. Who's bothered? Shouldn't have done it. Probably not. Probably just instinct. I've done it before. You think you're going to initiate. You think contact's coming. So you try and move out of the way. You try jump. You try and anticipate that you're going to get contact. So you go down. I've done it. Don't care. Not bothered. Not something to cry about. Yeah. Mistake. He made a mistake. Who cares? But performance, thought it was really good. I thought he brought a different dynamic to the game. He brought a bit of energy. He was pressing well, holding the ball up well, finding some good areas, some good positions, stretching the defence well. Yeah, I was happy with that. I thought it was a good substitution. And let's be honest, I thought we looked quite good. Going into Bristol City now, the last game before the international break, I just want to see a few more gears. That's all I need. Because we have them. I don't think we needed them last night. And I think the players kind of didn't want to do that or mentally just like, we're going to win this game. We've got enough. They stepped up a little bit. Still not a problem for me. Became our end-to-end in the second half, but still not a problem. Great performance. I'm happy with it. 3 more points. Another clean sheet. And Somerville getting a goal, which I'm buzzing about. Because I want that guy confident as possible. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, there will be stuff coming up. I'm just need to schedule everything and figure stuff out. Because I'm really busy at the moment, so I appreciate the patience and the support as usual. As for the comments, look, I do read them. When there's like 40, 50 comments, that takes an hour to reply to them all. I just don't have an hour, so I'm going to have to find time to reply. I do what I do think in them. I like them, and I will reply to as many as possible. Look, I promise. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Uni's busy. I was finding this somewhere. I had no time to do it. I had nothing to do. But now it's just literally every day. Literally every day at the moment. But yeah, appreciate the support. Good days.